Oh, we got new toys, my friends. Let's take a look and see if I can find the toys I'm looking for, because some of these are... Nope, that's not it. Hopefully, two new fountain pens. Sorry for the terrible lighting in my office. If I turn on my lights up top, then I get weird banding through my video, and I'm just not going to worry about that. Let's take a look at these two fountain pens. I'm very excited about this. I am such a fanatic of fountain pens now. So this one here is the Smootherpro fountain pen. Interesting little rubber band around that. Let's take a look at this. It looks like it comes in a case. Okay, Smootherpro written on the front there. And don't mind the bag sound, that's Sammy having fun behind me. And okay, so let's open this up and take a look at my first impressions of one of my new fountain pens. Oh, oops. Oh, I didn't even need to do that. Okay, so I just damaged the box in the process of trying to open this. Okay, so here's the what is this? Smootherpro fountain pen instructions. Talks about the general filling of the pen, and then just the pen. Cute little padding case on the inside. That's a good weight for that pen. That makes me happy. I like heavy pens. I like heavy pens. I like big pens. Wood grain on there feels like it's not finalized. It feels rough, but that's pretty cool. Okay, is this unscrew? Doesn't look like it. It's doing something weird now. Okay, so it is pull off. There we go. The nib on this is a Urine 22K GP, so that's pretty interesting. Good. Oh, very back weighted. Very back weighted. So this is much heavier. So you might want to do it without the pen. Might not want to post it. Though it does stick nicely, but it does make the back of the pen quite heavy once you do that. But yes, that's a good looking pen, but it does make it quite backwards heavy. Even though I do think their their actual listing said that it made it balanced, which it does not. Here is the converter, if I'm understanding correctly. Piston converter, I think, is what they call these. And comes right off. And that would be, looks like it'll work just fine with normal refills if you wanted to use them, but I personally like piston converters. So this is the Smootherpro. So I'll fill this one up here with some ink and test it out here in a few minutes. But this is the one I'm really curious about. This is a Pilot Metropolitan. Not a pirate, Pilot Metropolitan. Black plain, but it has a medium nib. And we'll see what this one does. I want to say that the Smootherpro may have a broad nib, but don't quote me on that. Let's see what I got here. I think this is a beautiful looking pen, at least online. Okay, MR Collection Use and Care Guide. So that comes with that. Oops, the pen has bumped out of the box, but it is in place here. Let's take a look. Looks like it has a cartridge with it, with ink with it. I'm hoping that it comes with a converter, but we'll find out here. I just love that shape and that look. Not much weight to it. Nice cap. Posts very nicely in a rubber to rubber kind of way. Very pretty. Pilot M Japan nib on there. Let's unscrew it and see what's in here. We have a rubber, just a rubber stopper there. I'll need to do some research on that. I'm scared to pull that out of there because part of me thinks maybe it's a bladder of some sort for the pen. Let me see here. I've never seen that sort of a system in there. Pilot MR Looks like they have different kinds of stuff here. Okay. Using an ink cartridge, using plate press, standard converter with the bottle. So that is exactly what that is. That is a plate press converter that I will be filling. So maybe I'll try that out here, and maybe I'll try that on camera if you guys want. Let's see. So do you squeeze? Oh, you squeeze the whole side of this like a bladder. So we'll give that a shot. Let me get my ink out here, and we'll give that a shot. I do happen to carry it with me right here. This is carbon ink. I love this carbon ink, and I know it's reverse text on everything because I'm using a front-facing camera, but carbon ink. Let's go ahead and fill the system in here. There's a little bowl in there to fill it. Now we'll make sure it doesn't drip. Okay, there's a wonderful little bubble on the top there that always gets me antsy. So let me see if we can pop it without causing any drama. There we go. Okay, so now let's see what happens here. Let's hope we don't make too much of a mess. So I'm going to stick the nib in there, and I'm going to give it a few. Okay, yep, that's definitely working. I feel it filling up the bladder. I gotta admit, I'm not a fan of the bladder. I'd much rather a converter, a standard converter, but there we go. Let me get some toilet paper here. Let's see if we can't clean this off without making too much of a mess. Okay. And it did come with an extra normal cartridge, so that's nice. But let's see if I can clean this off without making too much of a mess on myself here. Get the nib cleaned up. Thankfully, the carbon ink is fairly easy to clean up off of things. It doesn't stain any of the pens that I've used it on so far. I hope that bladder's full. I can't tell. But we'll go ahead and cap that off for the minute. And I'll do some ink tests with that in a few moments. Let's go ahead and cap it and put that to the side since we assume that that is full. And yes, we do have that spare cartridge there. So if I run out of carbon ink before I get more carbon ink in. This is the other pen once again. And this one's interesting because it does actually have a gold nib. And it does look like a fairly thick tip on it. So I'm assuming it says 22 karat GP. So it doesn't actually give a size as far as I can tell. Let's go ahead and drop the piston all the way down. Okay, we'll stick this in here and start sucking it up. And since I don't know much about pens, I do it several times. Dropping the piston down, bringing it back up, dropping the piston down, trying to get out all the air bubbles, bringing it back up. And I do it until the piston actually gets pretty full. So piston's down, coming back up, filling up with ink. Okay, go back down and back up. Okay, I am not getting much ink in there, so let me quickly try and fill the housing again by tightening this down. Flip it over, turn it over slowly so hopefully it'll catch some ink. And we'll reopen it. No air bubble this time, that's good. So let me push it all out here, and hopefully as I push it out, I'm pushing out all the air bubbles. Okay, stick it in there, nice and deep, and start filling back up. That looks better. That looks a little better. Okay, so we can see there we have a little bit of a void at the top there, but not too bad. Let's try and clean this up. This one is, let me scoot back into the cap here, get all this carbon off of my fingers so I don't stain the wood. I mean, it's a nice wood grain, you know, but it doesn't feel quite finished. Some people would like that, and I think I'll end up liking that. But I've been collecting a couple of these pens, so I don't know which one is quite my favorite just yet. Okay, seeing if the carbon will clean off of the bottom of this pen okay. Yeah, it looks like it's coming off just fine. And let me try and clean up the nib, because I like a clean nib. There we go. All right, go along the bottom here. And we'll cap this guy. There we go. All right, so we're 10 minutes so far. Sorry this is taking so long. And I mean, that is the general gist of how this works on filling these converters. That way you don't have to use odd refills that come with the pens, and you just don't know what you're getting. I like my carbon ink a lot, and it's waterproof, which is definitely a plus. Okay, let me grab my sketchbook over here. And I have a page that I've been doing a couple sketches on. And let's see what we get here. I know you can't see anything. I wish that there was a way to show you something. Maybe we'll try that. So just drawing on my original drawing. That's a very strong nib. It's putting out a very nice thin line. Trying to see if it will. It's doing a very nice thin line. It's not doing anything thick. It's very much a writing utensil, though I am getting some very nice thin lines. It's not a drawing utensil because it's not really giving me thick to thins, but it's also giving me a very good balance of ink. It looks like it's drying fairly quickly, which is good. It remains a bit wet, but it's not bleeding on this paper, so I'm okay with that. That's a really good writing pen. I would say that writing letters is pretty good. Let's try my name here. Yeah, that's not bad. I can't keep up with the speed so much, but we'll see what the Pilot does in comparison. I'm very curious about the Pilot. I just love the design of it. It's bullet form. I like that. Meeting's about to start downstairs, so I gotta run to that. Let's quickly test this. Much, much, much thinner. Yeah, much thinner. But at the same time, I like it. It's definitely another pen that is not giving me a lot of extra ink, which is fine. It does make some nice points at the end, at the tips of the pen. Working pretty good, and I am getting a little bit of thick to thin, but not really anything to scream about. A little bit though. I do like it actually. I like it a lot because I got a nice thick line pulling down, and then I'm getting these really nice thin lines coming from side to side. No, okay, this does have a good thick to thin. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, so far I think the Metropolitan is my favorite. The Metropolitan Pilot, except for that weird converter. Maybe I can get a standard converter for this instead. But for the writing, and I wouldn't say that this is my favorite pen out of all my pens, but it is, I would say my favorite is still my Moon Man. And I now am a owner of 5 of these guys. So, but I got to run to a meeting, so I'm going to take one of these down. I probably will take my Pilot downstairs with me to my meeting. So I got to go. I love you guys. We'll see you next time right here on Legacy Studio and Draw Too Much. I hope that you enjoy these little fountain pen videos and that maybe they give you a little bit of help and guidance in some of the purchases that you make when you're considering buying a pen. Very affordable too, by the way. I'll see you later.